Also from South Africa, we've got Sheldon Zamuzaridis, the co-founder of Create ZA, helping content creators find your food. So Sheldon, you have this outfit called Creative ZA, and you've worked and you're currently working with creatives, so tell us about a little bit what you've been doing,
Well, it's been a crazy journey. So Create ZA is essentially our attempt to recreate this country. And I believe that creators are the way to do that. They have influence over the rest of the country and also creating opportunities for them. So what we do specifically is have workshops for YouTubers and influencers, as John mentioned, and actually our relationship with AMP Studios kind of embodies that, going platform agnostic, where we expanded from just YouTube to TikTok and Instagram as well, just to really create a space for creators to learn from other creators who are working with businesses, who are working with corporate, and kind of understand how to turn this into a business model to give back to the community. So it's been fun, it's been cool, and I mean, it's really awesome to get to work with creators and see that there are so many people with passion, like you were talking about. You need passion to start something, and giving them the skills to tell their stories, and also just redirecting them. Okay, cool. What did you want to get into YouTube for? Was it for the money? Was it for the passion? And just helping them along that journey to the point where hopefully they can work with established people like Special Effects Media South Africa to take them the rest of that way.
Let me ask you a question, around, so what makes creative content and, a creative content creator unique, and why does authenticity matter?
Why does authenticity matter? Okay, so I mentioned the YouTube Academy that we did, and lesson number 1 is knowing your why. Why is that important? Why is that important? Because within your why will come your content creation. Within your why, there's the authenticity aspect. So it normally aligns with your passion, right? And obviously turning that into a business model is important. But if you look at something and say, this creator is making this type of content and they're getting millions of views. I want to be like Matt G. I want to be like Lasizwe. But then you try and create this content and maybe 1 or 2 days you're like, okay, cool, you've covered 2 of his video ideas, but you're starting to get tired. Because at the end of the day, this is not the thing that you love doing. This is Mac G, this is Lasizwe, this is them doing their thing. So to answer your question simply, if you're not doing it authentically, you're going to run out of that fire quicker. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So focus on what you really love and focus on what your passion is. That's what the message is.
My question is really around digital colonialism. All the platforms, all the signs you're seeing there are not owned by Africans. When we're talking about monetizing that, what emphasis goes onto creating platforms that, in terms of statistical modeling or business modeling, are owned by Africans at a platform like this, so that 10 years from now we don't sit and we say, we've given these guys all of our data, which is essentially the money, all of our likes, which is essentially the money, all of our subscribers, which is essentially the money. So from a geopolitical context, how are we not being blindsided by the idea that all of those platforms aren't African-owned platforms, and what are the possible implications and effects in the long run by us not focusing at such an intra-trade platform about how do we as Africans come together and mass mobilize, and stream onto platforms that are owned by us. Because remember, a lot of African recently never been owned by Africans. And is this a continuation in a new light of this form of colonialism where Uber sits and makes money in the US while you are traveling here? That doesn't work for us in terms of ROI. So how do we ensure such a migration onto platforms that are owned by Africans?
Yeah, I've got something to say as well. Maybe we must just create ZA. No, I'm kidding. We're talking about creating African platforms, right? And so I'm going to make an analogy really quickly. If a road was built, here in South Africa, the colonists, they built the roads. Okay, cool. Maybe I'm not happy with that. But I also want to build my business and I want to build this country. And I need to drive on this road to do the things I need to do so that we can make our own roads. So that's just the analogy on the one side. But on the other side, we actually do have African-based platforms. We've got us. I mean, these people are creating their own platforms for creators, based in South Africa. You've got South African creators who are sitting in their rooms just making videos. And guess what? Americans are paying for their rent. I think that's pretty cool, based on these roads that are there. Cool stuff.